like it's hard when you're the guy, right? And you have to be the person and you feel like the weight's on you and you don't have anyone else to talk about that with. Juju does, right? So it's like on that level, let them talk, right?
Good, family. You already know what time it is, man. Welcome back to the Shadow League Locker Room, where we talk about the game, the grind, the moves that matter on and off the field. I'm your host, Jonathan Wells, former Texas and Ohio State running back. And today we got my guy back in the building. We always have a great conversation. I'm looking forward to talking with him. NFL legend and vet, Stephen Weatherly is back in the building. Welcome to the locker room, my guy.
Hey, glad to be back.
That's what's up, man. I heard you getting back from a great trip, man, over that water, man. So I hope you and the family had a great time. That's what's up.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we just got back from Tokyo. Always wanted to go out there. Had the opportunity to go out there with my wife and friends. And so crazy birthday experience. But glad to be back.
That's what's up, man. Well, a lot of stuff been going on over here, man, with this football. So we're going to jump right into it. We're going to get up with the New York Giants, man. They recently just signed Jameis Winston as their starting quarterback. Now, a lot of people are trying to figure out if they're still going to, if they may still take Shedeur Sanders at that number 3 pick, or do you think that they're going to you think they're trying to tank this year to try to get Arch Manning next year, which I never understood how that makes sense to me. You tell me what you think, man. You think they still got a chance to get Shedeur, or do you think they're going to try to tank next year for Arch Manning?
Personally, I think they're going to still take a quarterback and make it a competition, if anything. I see similarities between the two, meaning that the confidence is there to pull the trigger to throw the ball. Mm-hmm. And so Jameis Winston going to any team is instant must-watch football because he is going to go out there and he is going to trust his arm and give his receivers an opportunity. And all his receivers have always testified to loving playing with him, for better or for worse, when it comes to overall records. And so, with that being said, them both going out there, being gunslingers, throwing it. I think that's a real quarterback competition. And I'm on the same page as you. I don't get how people can go ahead and say, I'm just going to tank this year at the front office. Like, that's against every competitive bone in my body.
Exactly. Yeah, I've never understood that. I've never seen that in any building that I've been in, at least. Not on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Some things unravel, but it's definitely not on purpose. But anyway, man, so there's this weird obsession, man, with Aaron Rodgers. I don't get it. He's 41 years old. He's coming off an Achilles injury. He just turned down the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Jets signed Justin Fields. Do you think that was a good move for the Jets to sign Justin Fields? Do you think that's a long-term play, or do you think that's just a Band-Aid right now as far as Justin Fields going to the Jets?
Honestly, I think it's a little bit of both, depending on who you are and where you're coming from. But what it is at the end of the day is potential. And so what I think Justin Fields is going to do is make the most of it and prove that he is someone worthy of a long-term extension. Because at the end of the day, I still think he can ball at a high level. Now it's about surrounding him with the proper pieces, making sure the O-line is straight. And at the end of the day, a solid defense is key. So head coach and GM still got to do what they do. But I think they see potential in both. Me personally, I think they got something good in Justin Fields. And so it's a matter of time before he gets to prove it.
So what do you see yourself? What do you see Aaron Rodgers landing at, in your personal opinion? Where do you think he's going to end up at?
I'm not sure. I want to say I don't understand placement and stuff, but depending on what teams get what quarterbacks, then he could end up with one of those quarterbacks as a mentor kind of thing. Because at the end of the day, he still has tremendous value, not like how he once was in regards to a mobile threat, extending the play, long throws down the field. But he has seen and experienced every kind of football at all different levels. And that level of experience and composure is something that you need to bleed on to the next generation of quarterbacks. And so at the end of the day, he still has tremendous value in that capacity. So I would pair him up with a young quarterback.
I think it's over with because we know that he is not a locker room guy. He's not interested in mentoring anybody under him. He's not shown that so far. Maybe he's at that stage in his career now, but he has not been a great locker room guy. He's not been a great mentor for any of the younger quarterbacks that he's had to play with. So I think it's over with, but that's just my personal opinion. But hey, But anyway, man, listen. So we're going to the next question. We're going to get to Stephen A. Smith. He thinks that the NIL has ruined NCAA basketball and the tournament. I guess there was not a lot of Cinderella stories this season for the first time in a long time. He feels that this is the NIL is ruining college basketball. What's your take on that?
To be upset that the great players that could be somewhere else, if they had the opportunity to, can't take a unnamed school to unknown heights. It's like, okay, I mean, like, what
Right.
I want a battleground of the best of the best of the best to compete against each other.
Correct.
In the old scheme, in the way it used to be done, there were great players all over, but they just couldn't get to certain places for one reason or another. NIL has removed those barriers. So now that great guy that would have taken that small school to the Sweet 16 or the Final Four, he's now at Duke. You know what I'm saying? He's now over there. He's now with another star player and another star player. So what you're going to see is what you're going to see. A lot of those big time, big pocket schools having massive weapons. And now it's just a battle of who can win it out now, right? So like once everyone has that upper echelon of talent, who can really scheme it up, who can execute at the high level. And that is when you start to get the cream of the crop. So, yeah, you don't get those Cinderella stories. You don't get that amazing like old time story right before they play in the Sweet 16. That's like an hour-long special. You know what I'm saying? Small school you never heard of. But at the end of the day, it should, on the other hand, have crazy great games, last-minute buzzer beaters, amazing basketball where you're going to look back in 10 years and say, those 8 guys who are now superstars all played in that game, in that Final Four, right? So
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit premature. I think it's on this the first year that we haven't seen the Cinderella story, like I said. So I think we got to give it a couple more years before we talk about NIL ruining anything. But anyway, man, let's get to our favorite session, man. Fair or foul. Now I know that you saw Jayden Daniels' mom. She's back in the spotlight. This time is definitely not for football, man. You know, everybody saw the young man sitting on the sideline with Juju Watkins and his mother shut that down instantly, man. So you think that she's being like a protective parent, or do you think that she's doing too much micromanaging of this young man's life?
Great question. First, speedy recovery to Juju, who is
Okay.
going to undergo ACL surgery. But to that point, she is doing her job as a manager. She's his agent, right?
Yes, I think
Right.
she knows everything. Yep.
And so to that point, she's doing a good job doing her job, which is to protect her asset. Part 2, I think she's doing too much in regards to, yeah, you want to not have negative influences around your asset, which is base level your job. But Juju Watkins is not a negative impact, right? That's another high achieving, high
Exactly.
caliber athlete, at least on that level. And what you do need is like someone to talk to about being the person, right? Like it's hard when you're the guy, right? And you have to be the person and you feel like the weight's on you and you don't have anyone else to talk about that with. Juju does, right? So it's like on that level, let them talk, right? So that he can have someone to do that with. You don't have to come in and do all that and shut it down like that. So she's doing her job, but I think in that one moment, that was a little bit too much, right? It wasn't someone that was trying to distract him. It didn't seem superficial. And at the end of the day, they're both high achieving athletes.
Yeah, I think she means well. I think that for him to get the amount of accomplishments that he's had so far, obviously he's making good decisions. But I understand her as a mom, but I think she got to let him go a little bit because guess what? She's not going to be able to be there 24/7 with him. So he gonna have to make some decisions on his own and grow up and become a young man, which he's doing a phenomenal job. So I kudos to both of them. That's what's up. But yeah, man, listen. So we got one more fair foul. Now LeBron confronted Stephen A. Smith a couple of weeks ago. It's been all over the place. Now, Stephen A., he does best backpedal. He on his Michael Jackson stuff right now, backpedaling on his comments. Now he's praising Bronny. He's got nothing but great things to say about him. Do you think that he just jumped the gun when it comes to tearing down the young man too quick, especially with him being the 55th pick? Or was it fair for him to just be a commentator in real time?
You need to be able to be a commentator in real time, but with that being said, keep it to the play itself, right? And so if you're just talking about how someone is just performing poorly, then that's it. The person needs to play better. And at the end of the day, that doesn't really affect anyone. But the game is the game, the lights, the league, and all that stuff. And so when you start to get kind of off the court, and then that can really get into people's headspaces. And so like that's where it's like you have a massive voice like he talks about. So you understand the power that goes with it. And so Yeah, do your job, but at the same time, as things start to switch and you start to notice, like, actually, he's improving at an astronomical rate, right? And when you look at the other picks around Bronny and what they're doing in the G League and those who had the opportunity to go up and play at the next level, what does it look like? Bronny's on a whole nother page. And so, right, like maybe if you took a second and thought about what's the potential that could be there, you wouldn't be in this situation. But I think that's just a learning lesson. So
Yeah. But listen, one thing, he get paid to talk, he get paid for his opinion, he gets paid for controversy. So he can go on there and be wrong every day. He still won't go get that 100 mil. So he good. You know, he'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, listen, it's been a powerful conversation today, man. Big salute to you, Steven, for pulling up with us, man. Listen, let everybody know where they can keep up with you right on social media.
absolutely, you can find me on Instagram at Coach Weatherly. Also, the SW Foundation, trying to get more into the community. And starting next week, I'll be interning up at Penn State just to see what's it like as I start my coaching journey. Partner with my old head coach, James Franklin, from our time back at Bandy.
Okay.
And yeah, I get to see what it's like to be a college coach for a week.
Congratulations, man. That's dope. Super dope. Man, listen, it's been another real edition from the Shadow League, the locker room, where we talk about real stuff on and off the court, on and off the field. Listen, man, make sure y'all check us out on social media, like, subscribe, share everything that you see. And listen, it's been a great episode, man. Until we see you again, you got to protect the legacy.
Absolutely. Take it easy.